He has a graduating major in African American Studies and in History. And next year he will be entering the master's program in higher education just across the street at College Park in our School of Education. For Torrell, he is one of those spirits where you can see that the light and the engine going. He is one part Energizer Bunny, one part multitudes of ideas running out of his head. It's amazing to watch Torrell, for those of you who know Torrell. So without further ado, I turn the podium over to Torrell Foray, our speaker for African American Studies.
See you, Torrell.
Mama. Crazy. I was chilling, I thought I was fine until Dr. Dia started saying all these words about me. Now I'm all nervous. First off, I just want to thank the African American Studies Department for giving me this opportunity to speak. For those of you who don't know me, I'm involved in several organizations on campus. I've hosted events, I facilitate meetings, I've had opportunities to present at national conferences, but for any public speaking event, this occasion right here means the most to me. So thank you, African American Studies Department.
You got this.
Right, I can't take too much time, you gotta get out of here. So, when I was young, my parents gave me the best words of wisdom a child can possibly receive from his or her parents. My father told me that it was cool to be smart. My mother told me, no matter what you do, try and be smarter than the next guy next to you. And because of that, growing up, I was never afraid to show people how smart I was. I never shied away from being an intellectual, and I've always been eager to learn new things. Because of those words my parents spoke to me, I've always felt at home when it came to education. Whenever people ask me about my undergraduate experience, I tell them that these past 6 years have been the best experiences of my life. Now, I might be considered an idealist when I say this, but I've never viewed college as a means to an end. What I mean is that I've never viewed this experience as simply me getting a degree so I can get a job later down the line, or so I can secure some type of employment, acquire some type of skills that I can show on a CV or resume, and have X amount of people I can add to my network. And before this speech burns bridges with people whose networks I'm in, let me say that I'm truly grateful for the relationships, the mentoring, the guidance, and everything else people have done for me since I've been at CSU. That was from you, Dr. Dia. But I think it's safe to say that for everyone graduating this weekend, college has changed you in some significant way. Accepting these degrees can't simply mean that we were able to successfully cram before midterms and finals without doing most of the reading throughout the semester anyways. Regurgitate words we've copied from PowerPoint slides onto exams, and survive what seemed like death matches at times trying to find parking on campus. I think it's important to acknowledge that college has produced change in individuals because of the unique times we live in. The graduating class of 2014, as well as the class that came before and the ones that are due after, have inherited a world based on information, technological innovation, and an increasing gap between those who have and those who have not. During my 6 years, we've elected a president that would have had to drink from a colored drinking fountain during Cal State Fullerton's first year. During these 6 years, LeBron James took his talents to South Beach and won 2 NBA championships. However, I wonder though, if the only thing separating LeBron James and Trayvon Martin besides age is an NBA contract. During these 6 years,
I see you, Torrell.
During these 6 years, I've watched some individuals occupy Wall Street. I also got the opportunity to drive down Skid Row for the first time. And it's amazing to see how a city can change within just one block. These degrees mean something much more than certificates of completion. In trying to obtain my degrees, there was a time when I commuted to Fullerton from Moreno Valley Monday through Thursday. I worked 4 days a week at the African American Resource Center on campus. I worked 4 to 5 days at a restaurant in Riverside at the same time. Sometimes I had to do 2 days at both jobs. while taking 15 units and while I was involved on campus, and I nearly passed out on rides on the freeway home. The struggle was weird. The struggle was real. And it wasn't about looking back on our journey to this day, despite our trials and tribulations, we overcame every obstacle that could have caused harm to our achievement. We know we couldn't have made it through the storm without help. So to our friends and our loved ones for being our shoulders to lean on when things got rough, you have our deepest appreciation. W.B. Du Bois in 1903 stated, "One ever feels his two-ness. An American, a Negro, two souls, two thoughts, two unreconciled strivings, two warring ideals in one dark body, whose strength alone keeps it from being torn asunder." I went through a major identity crisis throughout my undergraduate experience. In my classes, I was usually the only, if any, black student in the class. I felt everyone saw me and didn't see me at the same time, and I didn't know if I wanted to be seen or just blend in with the crowd. And to deal with this clashing of the soul, I took refuge in ethnic studies. I read books about Malcolm X, Huey P. Newton, heard lectures about Marcus Garvey, and those types of readings ignited a fire inside of me that still burns bright to this day. If it wasn't for these types of readings, I wouldn't be as comfortable with my African American identity as I am now. In addition, if it wasn't for ethnic studies, I wouldn't be able to relate to everyone that I do now. In my first semester here, I signed up for a Chicano studies course unintentionally. I learned about the history of immigration in the United States and the experiences of people of color, specifically the experience of undocumented immigrants. And I began to sympathize with their struggles and began to see them in a different light than I did before. In my second year, I took a course with Regina Rodi on the internment of Japanese American in World War II. And there, I learned about the model minority myth and the racism that fueled Executive Order 9066 that relocated so many American citizens that resulted in the loss of businesses and homes by Japanese Americans. In my third year, again, in an attempt to fulfill a GE, I stumbled upon Asian American Studies 308, taught by Jennifer Yee. Professor Yee's course had an impact on me, on my life, and that is and forever will be near and dear to me. I learned about the experiences of Asian Pacific Islander women and was somehow able to relate to those experiences through my experience as a black male. And as well as conversations that I've had with different professors on campus, those of Dr. Robinson's conversations, Dr. Radcliffe's, and by far the most influential person I've met on campus, Dr. Padilla. I learned about the true value of an ethnic studies degree. This isn't just history or culture we are being taught, but in learning about the experiences of people of color, you learn not only about yourself, but you learn how to see people who they truly are and to love them for who they truly are. So, to my fellow graduates, understand that our work only begins now. We owe it to the world to utilize the knowledge we've acquired to make this world better. And as we've inherited a world of colorblind injustice, inequities in the public education and criminal justice systems, understand that our actions and inactions work to either perpetuate or dismantle such systems of oppression. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that." And I say to my fellow graduates, I love you. Even if we've never met before today, I still love you. And lastly, and certainly not the least, congratulations.